In April of this year, Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary unveiled the Stratus project. Covering around 40,000 acres and designed to deliver up to 9 gigawatts of power, Stratus would become the largest data center campus in the world. But as impressive as this mega project is, it is far from alone. Modern data centers require billions of dollars in investment, advanced cooling systems to prevent overheating, and constant upgrades as technology continues to evolve. Those enormous costs help explain why an estimated $1 trillion will be spent on building roughly 1,500 new data centers worldwide in 2026, more than double the amount invested just a year earlier. And demand is growing faster than ever before, making this one of the largest investment cycles currently unfolding in the global economy. From hyperscale cloud companies to institutional investors and even long-term infrastructure funds, all of them are betting on one thing: the continued exponential growth of computing demand. This raises the question, why are data centers suddenly being built at an unprecedented scale? To answer that, first we need to understand what data centers do. In every single second of your online life, something massive is happening behind the scenes. Every time you search on Google, send a message on WhatsApp, or even watch a YouTube video, gigantic buildings filled with servers are working behind the scenes. These servers work together as a network of physical machines, connected by fiber optic cables and consuming enormous amounts of energy. These are data centers, and right now, they are quietly becoming one of the most important industries on Earth. Try to imagine the modern internet without data centers. Social media wouldn't exist, streaming platforms would disappear, cloud storage and online banking would become impossible, and the AI revolution we're witnessing today simply wouldn't happen. But what makes data centers truly important today is not what they already do, it is what they are becoming. We are entering a new technological era driven by the rise of artificial intelligence, and with it, the importance of data centers is growing rapidly. AI programs don't just use data centers, they depend on them. Training modern AI models requires enormous computational power. We are talking about millions, sometimes billions of calculations happening every second, all running on specialized chips designed for one purpose: processing data as fast as physically possible. And this new infrastructure requires a lot of energy. This is where the first major problem appears. Data centers are extremely energy intensive. In fact, some estimates suggest they already consume as much electricity as entire countries. This dependence on energy means their location is not random. Data centers are built near power grids, near renewable energy sources, and near stable political environments. And increasingly, countries are competing to attract them, because hosting data centers is no longer just about technology. It is about economic power. Today, an increasing share of global value creation depends on computing infrastructure, and the companies that own it collect revenue from millions of businesses around the world every single day. Every company that relies on cloud computing pays for access to this infrastructure. In many ways, the race to build data centers has become one of the main investment priorities for large-scale investors. As a result, data centers have become heavily concentrated in a handful of regions capable of allocating billions of dollars to this industry, particularly the United States, China, and Europe. Computing power is becoming a strategic resource. It determines who leads in artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, defense systems, financial markets, and even scientific research. But even those countries are starting to have problems. The exponential growth of data centers is starting to collide with the limits of power generation. In some regions, new data centers are already delayed because local grids cannot supply enough electricity. This is forcing governments and companies to rethink their energy strategies. Some are investing in renewable energy projects specifically for data centers. Others are even revisiting nuclear power as a stable long-term solution. Because unlike wind or solar, nuclear can provide constant high-density energy. Yet, even nuclear power may not solve the problem forever. If artificial intelligence continues growing at its current pace, humanity's appetite for computing power could eventually exceed what Earth's infrastructure can support. And that has motivated some companies to consider a radical alternative: building data centers in space. At first, the concept sounds absurd. Why would anyone launch servers into orbit when building them on Earth is already expensive enough? Unlike Earth, space offers nearly continuous access to sunlight. There are no clouds, no weather disruptions, and no day-night cycle for satellites in certain orbits. This means orbital data centers could theoretically generate vast amounts of electricity through solar panels, while avoiding some of the major energy constraints faced on Earth. But while the energy side of the equation looks promising, there is another side that determines whether this idea is actually viable: cost. And this is where SpaceX enters the story. Through its Starship rocket, the company aims to dramatically reduce the cost of transporting cargo into space. If successful, projects that once belonged purely to science fiction could suddenly become economically viable, including data centers. The idea is still in its early stages, and significant challenges remain. How do you repair servers or damaged hardware in orbit? How do you efficiently transmit massive amounts of information back to Earth? Well, nobody has definitive answers yet. But the fact that serious companies are now asking these questions reveals just how rapidly demand for computing power is growing. The next frontier for data centers may not be another country. It may be space itself. One thing is becoming increasingly clear. The race to build the infrastructure of the digital age has only just begun. Because in the 21st century, information is power, and the places that process that information may become some of the most important assets humanity has ever built. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments how I can improve. Until the next show of power, thanks for watching.